Welcome to the presentation. We're going to be doing a presentation about the greenhouse profit potentials using two scenarios. One will be growing herbs and teas, and the other will be microgreens. And then we'll look at the conclusion of how to accomplish this. A little background on this. This is a result of utilizing waste heat from cryptocurrency mining units. This scenario here is for about a little less than 4,000 watts, about 3,800 watts to 4,000 watts in Bitcoin and crypto mining units, waste heat to be able to mine through the winter here in North Idaho or similar climates that are either just as cold, colder, or not as cold. So this little unit here is only 6 by 9 feet wide and long, not a lot of square footage. It's about 9 foot tall. And the scenarios are utilizing a lot of shelving in this example. So let's take a look and see what we have here. First of all, we're going to compare the profit potential of herbs and teas and microgreens in this 54-foot square greenhouse utilizing a shelving scenario. Scenario 1 is going to be high value herbs and teas. Scenario 2 will be microgreens. In this scenario, we're going to use sunflowers. The key metrics are going to be yield, revenue, expenses, and scalability. So we are doing this at a small level to get some numbers and some data so that we can see how that would compare for bigger operations, commercial operations. So scenario 1, our teas and herbs, we're looking at some high value herbs, primarily mint, lemon balm, basil, lavender, some other herbs. Experimenting with those. Dried, they go for about $15 to $100 a pound. You can see the chamomile flowers go for $40 to $100, so they're a little bit higher. Fresh herbs and stuff could go for about $40 to $100, or in some, or excuse me, $8 to $25 for fresh. So the yield that we expect to get from 54 foot based on current data is about 40 pounds per year fresh and about 10 to 12 pounds per year dry. And that those numbers could go even higher if we are able to harvest and utilize this. So the revenue and expenses, conservative, the 10 pounds, we're looking at $30 to $300 a year for the revenue at a conservative rate. Moderate would be about 15 pounds at $40 to $600. Very intensive, we could get 20 pounds or more and get $50 to $1,000 a year. The seeds or the expenses part of it, we've got seeds $20 to $50, soil pots that can be used or containers $50 to $100, electricity not really needed too much in our scenario because we're utilizing the Bitcoin heat, but perhaps this money could be spent on other items. Packing and marketing $50 to $100, which leaves us with a profit of about $300 to $1,000. So the pros, very long shelf life. If we dry these herbs, they can last 6 months or longer. They're high value products that we can get out of this. Herbs dried for spices, that type of a container, it can call for a bigger price. Tea blends can go for a bigger price. Smudging sticks is sages where they dry them and burn them to purify. In some practices, those are popular. Scalable with subscriptions, workshops, online sales. These are all other ways, we're not even counting, where you could create a lot more income. Some of the cons are lower profit margin versus microgreens, and there's a slower growth cycle that we'll talk about. So the greenhouse profit for microgreens, primarily sunflowers is what we looked at, let's say we could get almost 60 trays in there, 10 by 20 trays, with a 5-tier shelving situation. That would yield us at least 10 ounces a tray of microgreens. That would probably be more like radishes or broccoli or something like that. With sunflowers, you get a lot heavier, but they don't sell for as much. But it all kind of works out. So 240 trays a month would be about 150 pounds of produce every month, selling at $20 a pound. You're talking $3,000 a month, $3,600 a year. So this could be very profitable. So we still want to look at our expenses and our net profit. The seeds are going to run us about $240. We can use soil medium with sunflowers. That's definitely needed. Some other types of microgreens, you can probably get away from soil or maybe just use medium. It might be a little less expensive, but we're budgeting in $100 to $150. Electricity, I would definitely say this would be maybe even a little bit low for the winter, $40 to $80, because we're going to probably want to definitely utilize some extra lighting for our microgreens, especially in the winter. We can use LEDs, they're a lot cheaper to run. Packaging, I think $60 is kind of low as well, but this is for just Ziploc bags, very affordable. The miscellaneous $50, you might want to spend that extra toward better packaging, which is about $500 to $600 a month, and brings our net profit to $2,400 a month, which is $28,000 to $30,000 a year. So the pros and cons for this, the pros are we got a very high profit margin, we got fast growth cycle, we're making money selling product within 7 to 10 days, and then this is a good market in North Idaho. Microgreens are growing in popularity and in demand in this cold climate up here. The cons are it's very labor intensive. You got a lot of planting, harvesting, delivering. There's risk of spoilage if overplanted. So these are things that you need to be aware of. Now, some of the things we can do to boost profits in both of these scenarios. For our herbs and teas, you can see here I have the logo Minting Bitcoin Tea with the BitGrow logo there. This is a way of using branding, and this could work for both the microgreens or the herbs. Tea, I think, is good. There's bath soaks. Some people like herbal bath. There's subscriptions that work great in both scenarios for the herbs or the microgreens. You could include Etsy sales or workshops for these things to increase your profit. So let's compare. Teas and herbs profit about $300 to $1,000 a year. Best for long-term branding, very low maintenance. Microgreens, we've got great profit, $28,000 to $30,000 a year. Best for high revenue, fast turnaround. And our recommendation for our own venture here is to mix microgreens for a little bit of profit right away coming in, and then the herbs and the teas that we talked about earlier for our niche branding. So the reason we want to scale this out is just to let people know who have Bitcoin miners, these are opportunities they have even for medium size units. If they have a couple of them, they could use this heat for a smaller greenhouse and be able to utilize something. Depending on their ability, they could go with either the microgreens for higher profits, but they got more labor, or the herbs, which is flexibility, but there's value added products and branding that could be done. So our next steps as a BitGrow systems and BitGrow company is to test in small batches and focus on local direct sales. If you have any questions about these techniques, about what we're doing, about your own greenhouse, we do offer consulting services. If you have one or two small questions, I can try to answer those if you want to email me direct. And that's it. I'm willing to answer questions, discuss which option suits your goals, If you're interested in having a presentation, I have several presentations I can do along with Cryptocurrency 101, the BitGrow systems, and also, of course, the greenhouse profit scenarios that we have gone through. So thank you for watching this presentation, this power slide. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and share this with others. We want to get the word out there. This is a great way. There's just so much money that can be saved utilizing this energy. I'm going to be doing a presentation on that. It's going to blow your mind how much money and carbon footprint can be reduced by just utilizing this here in our small state of Idaho. I could imagine other bigger states, the impact that it would do. And perhaps I'll do some studies on that or get some help from some of the folks down at the University of Idaho in coming up with some calculations for how much savings this type of a model could accomplish, and extra profit margins for those that are already doing greenhouses, or being able to recuperate all that lost heat for those that are doing large cryptocurrency, Bitcoin mining, AI, data centers, things like that. There's just so much opportunity. So thank you very much, and goodbye.